Hi, my name is Sarah Fernandez, and today I'd like to ask you what you imagine when you think of Paris, France. Now, a lot of people think of the Eiffel Tower, they think of a city full of romance, they think of really good food, but Paris is a lot more than that. Paris is a historic center, it's an artistic center, and it's an architectural center as well. Paris is comprised of 2,241,346 French-speaking people, and this city has a very long history. In Ashley Traub's article, A One-Page History of Paris, she explains that Paris was originally settled by the Gauls, who created this settlement and called it Parisi, and in 52 BC, Julius Caesar overtook the city, and the Romans ruled for 300 years until the Franks came in and established the monarchy that we are familiar with today. And that monarchy was dismantled during the French Revolution when, inspired by Enlightenment ideas, the Parisians decided to overthrow the monarchy. And in History.com's article, The French Revolution, over 17,000 people were beheaded during the French Revolution. And after the French Revolution, Paris was overtaken by the Nazis during World War II in 1940. And in Jonathan Yardley's book, A Truth About Parisian Resistance to the Nazis, which was published in 2014, Paris was a very dark time, was very dark at that time. Additionally, Paris is an artistic center. It was the home to many artistic movements, and it is considered to be the artistic capital of the 1900s, according to Weinberg's Americans in Paris, 1860 to 1900, which was published in 2000. So the flourishing city center, the beautiful countryside, the new opera house drew in artists from all over the world, and that tradition of housing artists, inspiring artists, considered for a very, very long time after that, all the way into the 1920s, when you had a lot of American authors coming to Paris, such as Steinbeck, Hemingway, Fitzgerald. And as you can see from this list, which was taken from a Paris guide, A Walk Through Montmartre, that many artists were very inspired by Paris and spent an extended period of time there or made it their home. All right, and lastly, Paris is an architectural center. You can see 13 well-preserved types of architecture in Paris, all the way from medieval architecture to contemporary modern-day architecture. And that was researched by Arch Daily, which is an architectural magazine, from their article, Architecture City Guide, Paris. And so you can see all different types of architecture in Paris. It's all very diverse, from Haussmann apartments to Napoleon's apartments and the Eiffel Tower, the L'Arc de Triomphe. But perhaps the most amazing feat of Paris in terms of architecture is that there is a lot of examples of Gothic architecture, such as Notre Dame, Sainte-Chapelle, and the Basilique de Saint-Denis. And additionally, when you're walking around the city, you can see a lot of Gothic cathedrals as well. And so Paris is a very multifaceted city. It has a lot to offer for everybody, but it is more than just the Eiffel Tower and a city of romance and good food. It has a history associated with it. It is an artistic center, and it's also an architectural center as well. Would you like to ask any questions from my lovely audience?
Yeah, could you tell me, if I only had a week in Paris, what would be the top 3 things you'd recommend me to see?
I would recommend seeing first the Eiffel Tower, because it's kind of a symbol of Paris, and it's just one of those touristy things that I think everybody should do. Second, I think going to the Louvre is important, because you can really see the artistic movements that came out of Paris, but a lot of other very amazing art as well. And the Louvre is just a very famous and extensive museum. And third, I would say walking around Montmartre, because you can it's a very diverse place, from street vendors to artists. You can really get a very bohemian look at Paris when you go to Montmartre, and I think that's a really cool place to explore.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So you mentioned the artist movement. Who besides the painters were inspired by this period?
So a lot of composers were very inspired by Paris as well. So Debussy was actually a very prominent composer who came from Paris, and he started the Impressionist movement for music. And before, you had the Romantic style, which was these very long, sweeping phrases. And Debussy came in and really shook things up, and he laid a platform for modern music as we know it today. So that movement also came out of Paris as well.
Okay,
Right.
thank you. Interesting.